everybody? You got Prophecy with Son of Hollywood. We are here with Black Heff. What's going down, Black Heff? How you doing, sir?
Oh man, everything's lovely. I can't complain.
So let's go ahead and get down to business, man. First off, what made you decide to take on the title of Black Heff?
Well, it wasn't a self-proclaimed title like some think or like some would imagine. The name came from basically me being out with clients of my company, the Lady of the Team concept, with us hanging out at parties and different clubs and going in VIP and just with basically me being a black man with with a beautiful girl with 2, 3, 4 girls at a time, entourage, mostly Caucasian women. People just started calling me Black Heff, they would see me, and so at first me and the ladies just thought it was funny, what I'm saying, but then at different places, we'd be on the red carpet in Hollywood, we'd be at the club in Dallas, we'd be in the hood, we'd be everywhere, and people would just would see us in amazement and give me that title, and so me being a businessman, I instantly thought of, figuring out, thought that would be something that possibly I could capitalize off of. So the first thing I did was just trademark the name. And from there, I just but what gave me the audacity to even take on such an extreme, let me call it an extreme title with the legacy that Hugh Hefner has left, for his name itself. The only reason I would even take on the title was because I had a legitimate business that dealt with beautiful women that was based around the adult entertainment industry, but not on the side that Hugh Hefner was dealing in as far as magazines and nudity women. My company just found a way to manage exotic dancers, but it was still pertaining to the same industry, strip clubs and magazines and all that's the adult entertainment industry. So when I said that I would take the title, I knew that I had to carry it with such high esteem and with such respect connected to it that I had to be who I said I was, and I already was, so I had no problem with that. And so that was the beginning of me being the Black Heff. But what makes me the Black Heff is that I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Team Concept Entertainment Services LLC, and I deal in managing nothing but exotic dancers. I provide life skill and managerial services for exotic dancers in the team concept, meaning more than one person focused on the same and common goal. It's a proven and effective formula that works. But it came from another industry. So anyway, that's where I got the name from, Garry.
And what city was this in?
Well, it was founded in Dallas, Texas.
Okay,
it was founded in Dallas, Texas.
So let me ask, how did Hugh Hefner come about hearing about you? Obviously, I'm sure word probably traveled pretty quickly. And what was it that the exact certification that he gave you, and what was it that he liked about you to be willing to say, you know what, man, go ahead and do your thing?
Well, what happened was I had 2 Hugh Hefner encounters. The first was a letter I had got from his basically from his one of his publishing firms or his attorneys. But I think it was from his publishers. But once my attorney seen it, once I had to forward it over to my attorney, he said, "Man, he's the biggest publisher in the world." The company that sent the letter over. So what it was that I had paid a company to do an EPK for me, an electronic press kit. And inside of the electronic press kit, they had did a wonderful job, by doing it. But what they did was they used a picture of Hugh Hefner's face, and then they used the Playboy logo. But they were only talking about, how I had came about it in the aspirations that I had for doing so, and the respect that I had for him, and how high that was. So it was nothing negative, and we wasn't trying to piggyback off of it. It was just explaining the legitimacy of me actually becoming the Black Heff and using the name, but out of all respect. But I guess that was something that they didn't have, they didn't really appreciate. So in the letter they were just saying, hey, don't use the likeness And then they had went on to even ask me not to use the name Black Heff. Well, like I told you initially, before I even blurted the name out my mouth and told people that I was going to start calling myself that, being connected with my company Team Concept and the ladies, my first step was to set up and trademark it so I could own the name, or to make sure no one else owned the name, to make sure I wasn't blabbing something out my mouth that I couldn't stand on. So I knew that they had no legal rights to tell me not to use the name Black Heff, but they just went on here and asked me not to do so, in the letter. But, my attorney responded back to them in a very polite way, told them that, I took all of the stuff, that the EPK that I did have on the internet on my website, I removed that and never, ever, never made it available, for viewing again. But the second encounter I had was not directly with him. It was with a guy, a friend of his, that frequents the Playboy Mansion, 4 to 5 times a week. I was at a restaurant. I don't know if you know where the Rainbow is, on Sunset in Hollywood.
Yeah, of course.
And I frequent the Rainbow quite often whenever I'm in Hollywood. When I'm in LA, I like to go there. So what I did was I had some Black Heff promotional flyers with me and the ladies on them, promoting, the independent reality show we have, season 1 and season 2. So I left. They have a newsstand where you can leave flyers and things like that. So I left flyers there the last time I was there, which was maybe 2 months before I came back. Once I came back, a gentleman, I was sitting with the ladies having dinner, and a white guy walked up to me and asked me, in plain clothes, like, kind of aggressive, are you the Black Heff? And so as I'm sitting there eating with my fork in my hand, I'm looking at my plate. I look up at the gentleman and I say, "Who's asking?" And he said, "Oh no, man, no big deal." He said, "I'm just a real good friend of Heff, man, and I seen your flyer up here a couple weeks ago, and I took it back to him, and when he gave a look at it, he didn't say anything to me, but he smiled, and then but now this was a Friday night. That Saturday night, I was already scheduled to go to a party. I was actually in town for a party at the Playboy Mansion. But I never told the gentleman that was telling me, that was, asking me who I was there actually to go to the mansion. But I just know a lot of times people have different, I've gotten a lot of stereotypes from being a black man with white women. Just let me just say this. And so by saying that, I kind of have to screen people that's approaching me, because I don't know if it's a positive approach, a negative approach, a police approach. I don't, hatred approach. I don't know what the approach is. So I have to be very careful. So anyway, the gentleman said that he was a friend of Heff's, and he had showed him the flyer, and he smiled about it. And I said, "Well, that's good, man. I'm glad he, didn't have nothing negative to say." I said, "I'd like to, meet him one day and maybe talk business and let him know, my business plan and my approach, and maybe it's something we could do together." And so the gentleman was like, "Well, maybe so." He said, "Well, the best thing to do is write him a letter. If you write him a letter, you might get a response." He said, then the gentleman came back and say, "But don't tell him I said to write it, like don't mix me up in that shit, so to speak, But he suggested that I write him a letter. So then he wanted my address and my name. And what I did was just and he had a pad in his pocket, and like a hotel pad where you can write notes down. But on this pad, it was a sticky pad, but it had the Playboy logo in the corner of every piece of paper that was stuck to it. It was a sticky notepad from the Playboy Mansion. And so he wanted me to write my information down, but I just put up my business card and gave him the business card. So he went on. So the next day I went to the Playboy Mansion. It was for the Grammy Award maybe 2 years ago, and Puffy and Paris, Puffy was hosting it, but Heff wasn't out there. It was outside, so Heff wasn't outside at the festivities. But I was there, and the same gentleman that seen me in the restaurant happened to walk past me, and when he walked past me, I had a couple ladies with me and a few other girls that were at the party were at my table, and it was a bunch of women, and the guy walked past and did like a quadruple take. He couldn't believe it the way he shook his head and looked, and he said, hey man, didn't I see you yesterday? I almost wanted to bust out laughing, but I said, "Yeah, that was me." He said, okay. Next thing you know, about 4 security guards surrounded me. And they didn't approach me or say anything, but they stayed in my vicinity for at least an hour and a half from the duration, from the time I seen him, from the time, previously from me getting ready to leave. They stayed in my vicinity and just watched me. But I carried myself as a gentleman, so I didn't do anything. And so we left, and that was that. But those were the only 2 encounters I had concerning Hugh Hefner.